Hey guys, so thank you for joining me today. I am so excited to talk to you about a topic that I have actually been marinating on a little bit and processing, and I thought it might be a topic that you guys who are my tribe, you might find it interesting and want to give me some insight, your opinions of what you think, and I would love to have some dialogue about this. So the topic today is, how do we feel about the term heal thyself? It is used a lot in my circles, and of course I am in the camp of natural healing, energy healing. That's what I do. I am not a healer. I don't look at myself as a healer. I give God the glory. I am just a a guide. He uses me to help people heal, but he is ultimately the healer. But in these circles, we hear this terminology a lot. And it led me to think, what do I think about that term, heal thyself? How do I feel about that? How does that work with being a Christian and believing in Christ? How does that fit into it? Does it fit into it? So I got to thinking about it this morning, and my first reaction was, I don't like that terminology. I don't feel like I heal people. I always want to give God the glory. So then I thought about it, and then I thought about the camp of us who look towards more natural means, foods, herbs, supplements, energy healing, massage, acupuncture, things like that, how we look at healing, how we look at that journey of healing. And then I really got to thinking about the person who, for whatever reason, they go to the Western medicine doctor for everything. As soon as they have the first sniffle, the first fever, the first I don't feel well, I'm in pain all the time, they run to the doctor. Even if the doctor can't figure out what it is, as soon as something happens, they run straight to the doctor. So I got to thinking about these two different camps, because sometimes they meet in the middle, sometimes they don't. Well, how does the term heal thyself, how does that fit into it? How does that term fit in the Bible? Does it fit in the Bible? So I got to thinking about that. I got to thinking about the mindset of the person who runs to the doctor as soon as they feel the first little ache, pain, whatever. And the person who goes on their own journey of finding natural means to heal themselves. They do research. They look at natural alternative means. And so I looked at both of these. I thought about the Bible, and first I always want to say that I give God the glory for healing, always. And that led me to believe, how does that look? I'm very visual. And so I feel like the term heal thyself, I don't like that terminology, but I believe there is some truth to action steps for healing, and maybe I can come up with a different way to word it. I don't know. I'd have to process and play with that a little bit. But I think there's some truth. And how does it fit in? Well, for me, looking at the Bible, different incidents came up from the Bible, and I thought about how when Jesus would heal somebody in the New Testament, what did he do a lot of times? He didn't just say, you're healed and you can stay how you are. A lot of times there was an action step involved with healing. Did you ever notice that? Go back and look at the scriptures and look at the parables, or look at the stories where Jesus healed somebody. Take up your mat and walk. There was an action step. If you're in significant pain, maybe you can't walk. I mean, you're to the point that walking is the impossible. For someone to tell you in order to be healed, you have to do the impossible, that's an action step. So that, to me, but that brings me to the belief that God is the healer. I believe that he expects us to take some action in order for us to heal, in order for him to heal us. So then I thought about, how does that look? and I thought about a power cord. And I feel like when we're taking these action steps, we have this power cord. We go out, maybe we go buy the power cord. We get the power cord, we walk over to the electric socket. We're taking action steps. But until we plug in that power cord to the electric socket, there's no power. And so I feel like when we put our action steps and we connect it to God's power, his source, that is where we have healing. And I feel like both are important and necessary. Because then I go back to the verse where God talks about our bodies being a temple. And I've been doing some studying on becoming a thin eater, healing from the inside out. And when we study the Old Testament scriptures of what God says to do to build a temple, of how to take care of a temple, there's a lot of action steps involved. And that leads me to, I believe that God always gives us action steps. I don't believe that we can just live our lives putting toxic poison in our body, constantly thinking negative thoughts, and expect that God's going to heal us. I really truly believe that we need to take action steps. And so what I do with my clients in emotion code sessions is we go through that. With prayer and intention and using muscle testing, we find out what needs to be cleared and released. We take action steps and clear and release it. We find out what needs to be installed. We install those positive beliefs, those positive statements, those positive scriptures, those positive words back into the person. And then I look in my people who are getting the individualized wellness coaching sessions from me. In that program, I also then take it a step further with them and find out what herbs they need, what foods they need, what foods do they need to refrain from. Those are all important, and I see how people become healed through this. So I believe that these action steps are important. And I believe that God takes that, and I honestly, truly believe that when someone puts that much intention and faith and action steps, I believe that's why the people that I see, the healing is amazing. It's huge. It is life-changing. And I believe that's because there's some action step and there's some faith involved. I question if you just live your life the same way and you don't do anything different, you don't change, you don't treat your body like a temple, you make no action steps. How can you expect God to heal you? Just by looking at the scriptures. I would like to hear your thoughts. What do you think about that? Do you think that God heals? Do you think that's part of his plan to heal? When we are not taking action steps. So in my opinion, I don't like the term heal thyself, but I believe that healing comes from action steps and faith, and God heals us through action steps. And the more I study herbs and food, alkaline foods, I have to say, God has given us so much on this planet Earth right now to use. I don't know why we continually go to a chemical lab before we go and try his way first. Just a thought. I'm just a cause and effect kind of girl, and it's fascinating what is out there that he has already given us. He's also given us a body that if we take care of it, biofeedback happens naturally, and our bodies are designed. He created our bodies to naturally heal themselves. But again, we have to use action steps. If we constantly poison our bodies are never given that opportunity to heal themselves naturally on their own. So those are my thoughts on the term heal thyself. I would love to hear what you think. Like, comment, share, comment below, and let me hear your thoughts. Thank you for tuning in.